Hey yo, what's going on guys? It is Foxy298 here and welcome back to a brand new F1 2017/F1 2018 video for you guys today here on my channel. Today I'm basically going to be giving a review of F1 2017 in general, and then I'm going to be sort of tying that in with potential game ideas for F1 2018. Now you're probably thinking to yourselves this is pretty early on to be talking about this, only a month into the game, but right now there'll be people working on patches for F1 2017, but a lot of focus is now going to be starting to work along trying to start building F1 2018, because, you know, it's how the game yearly cycle works. But anyway, if you guys do end up enjoying today's video, drop a like on it, subscribe if you're new around here as well, and without further ado, we're going to get straight into the conversation. So I'm going to be talking pretty much about every single spectrum of F1 2017 and then converting that into F1 2018 game ideas. So first of all then, I'm going to talk about the most frustrating bit of F1 2017 possible, and that's going to be the online. F1 2017 online is a very interesting one, should we say, to put it the least. Probably the worst ever online F1 2017 experience I've ever played in a Codemasters F1 game, and it's gonna be a lot of debate this video, comment section wise and other videos wise. But for me personally, I think F1 2017 online is absolutely dreadful. Sorry to start off on a bad note. Trust me, there are some good points in this video, but when it comes to a review, you've got to point out the negatives as you do the positives. But before I explain what is my problem with it, in the background, you're seeing my F1 2017 Career Mode Season 2 Part 8 Azerbaijan, just as a background gameplay for you guys. And then I will just, you know, so it's not a black screen. But anyway, so talking about F1 2017 online, first of all, my biggest problem with it was the initial glitches which were in the game. Now, of course, they have been patched, so you could potentially say that it's fine again, but there are still lots of problems with it. First of all, F1 2016 online, so going back to last year's F1 Get Online, that was an absolutely phenomenal experience, and I really, really enjoyed it. I could simply go on, I could search for a sprint race, you could search for a 3-lap race, a 5-lap race, and a 25% race, I think it was. And that was really, really good. Everyone did lots of 5-lap sprint races, and it was a hell of a lot of fun. Trying to search for online games this year is a lot harder than it was last year. The brand new system that they've got of terms of like public matchmaking, like sort of move the bar so it's slightly more longer, or comparing it or moving it the other way to make it more shorter, it really doesn't work. I think they should literally just stick it to putting... I don't know, like basically it doesn't work to put it as a starter before I try and confuse myself here, but I've always tried to like put it towards like the 5-lap sprint races, but I can just never find a game. And then whenever I try and go onto custom game to have a look if people have set up a custom game, which is like public for, which is, you know, open for people to watch, they're always like 25 and 100% races. And when I try and find the short sprint races, they're never really about, and it's a bit frustrating for me personally in terms of online. Of course, you know, a lot of the people that play online have been drawn away by the disqualification glitch, which has been patched, and just overall lag and bugginess within the game, and I've seen that a lot. And I haven't done many online races. In fact, I can put this into a total. If you go into public online races, not custom games, if you go into public ones, it tracks your stats. Now, the first annoying thing is if you are level 50 or whatever it is online, and there is a game update to do with online, they have always said, Codemasters, that your progress will be deleted. Well, I don't... That is a little bit... That just, to me, sounds like pretty dull, if I'm honest. Like, someone is... That's one of the reasons why I don't play online, because you get ranked for it, which is fine. You know, ranking is good. So I don't want to be in races, you know, where I'm coming up against a level 1 noob that just takes everybody out type thing. But for you to go and grind out F1 online, trying to win races, leveling up and earning XP, to then have it all removed because of an update, it's really dull in my opinion. I don't know what you guys think, let me know, but like I saw it in a thread when patch 1.5 or 1.6 came out, and it was talking about how you would lose your online progress, and they were giving you a warning like, hey, this update's coming out and you're going to lose your online progress. And you're probably thinking to yourselves, well, hang on a minute, if you put in like 3 or 4 hours of racing to level up and earn the XP, why do we have to lose it all? Like, that's what I don't understand. Now, some people may argue against this and, you know, counteract that when you won the race, it was because everybody got disqualified in front of you. And that I can see your point for, but, you know, it's still silly, you know? Some people have won races legit. Like, not every single race was a disqualification glitch race, or, you know, not every race was, had any bugs in it. It was all clean races, but it just doesn't feel right to remove people's progress for the purpose of an update. Like, if you're going to update the game, just update it. Just a simple, you know, here's the update, multiplayer's been updated, go ahead. I mean, you've got so many games. Multiplayer is such a big thing, and it's in the gaming industry, that to see it now completely written off in F1 2017, it's not going to keep the game going for the whole year. And even today, like, I'm trying to record F1 videos, and I'm just not enjoying it as much, you know? Like, I mean, I'm trying to record career mode videos, and because of university taking up a lot of my time, like I always say, I don't have time to make the videos, which means then when I try and do other stuff, yes, I can do the challenge videos, because you guys absolutely love them, but I've always wanted to try and do an online video, but I can't because the game is so buggy and so laggy, and that when you try and make a series like Road to Level 50 or something, or whatever that may be, you know, you don't get the reward for that, and it's just a bit frustrating. And for F1 2018, online is got to be a big priority. It has to be, otherwise you're just not going to get the freedom of it. Because as soon as career mode, like as soon as I started uploading 2 or 3 career mode episodes a week, I would always do live streams. If you guys were back when I was like had less than 1,000 subscribers, OG legends if you are. If you weren't, then you're still an OG legend. But anyway, like, I would always do 2-hour sprint races and whatnot. You know, I did sub championship, I did randomizer championship, I did loads of online series, and that kept my channel fresh and kept on going. This year, if it's going to continue to be laggy and buggy and stuff like that, like I checked, for an example, Tim McMurdoch's Twitter, you know, Ben, and he's always talking about, you know, he does ASR leagues, and he's talking about how it's still laggy and online is still not ready. And that's a big, big problem, because for me personally, F1 2017 online is not ready for an official launch. To be honest, it would have been better if they just launched the game, banned online, made sure it was working properly before releasing it separately then. Very similar to GTA Online. So just spend the whole 3 weeks at max just working flat out, making sure online is perfect, then sending it out in a big patch, and then everyone will be at level 1. But for me, I'm going to not rant on about online any longer. I just feel like it's a big failure this year, and it might improve later on in terms of less lag, less bugginess, more and less fixes, but I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. But we're going to move on and start talking about some positive things. So the first thing is the events to get yourself into esports and stuff. Massive thumbs up for the esports stuff on F1 2017. It's absolutely amazing, you know. It's finally given the competitive racers something to progress forwards and something to work for. You know, there's always going to be the casual racers like myself, for an example. I don't race hard in this game. You know, I don't try my hardest to be the best because, quite frankly, I'm nowhere near that pace. But it's a massive bonus, and it just brings massive recognition to F1 in general. Just in general, you know, you've got the esports series, and then you've got the video game. And what I like the most is that this is being advertised a lot, and people are actually interested in this. If you go back to the Belgian Grand Prix, all across like the walls and even on the bridges, just before the bus stop chicane, you had F1 2017 game out now. There was promotion for it. You know, there's people promoting F1 2017, getting it further upwards. If you guys watched the Malaysian Grand Prix today, I'm not going to spoil it if you haven't watched it, because of course it was an early race start for wherever you may have been in the world, or it might have been a late race start, but I'm not going to spoil it for anyone that didn't watch it today, but watch it. It was a great race. I would, you know, you had on the, where it had to, you know, it had the build, like the neon light billboards of Happy Birthday Max Verstappen. During the race, it was saying F1 Esports Series. You know, it was promoting the esports series, and it's bringing more popular attraction back to the F1 games. And on that front, you know, Codemasters have done a stunning job to get this sorted and to get the gaming experience for competitive races back. Like, all these big competitive races, you know, they would set... The best thing that they could do is set a time trial lap. And maybe, you know, go into, like, a big league racing, you know, thing and do a league race. Whereas now, they can not only set a time trial lap, but they can go into these events and they can try and push themselves to qualify for esports, to be bigger and better and go further in a competitive F1 career. And for me, that's brilliant, and I'm really happy that that's come into it, and that's a massive plus for me for F1 2017, and hopefully it can continue onwards to be a success in further F1 games. Moving on then, well, you know, time trial, that's just time trial, does its own thing, no problems with that, really enjoy it. Like going around setting a couple of laps. I've got a couple of funny video ideas coming out for those later in whenever I can upload a video, to be honest. So I don't really need to talk about that. Grand Prix, normal Grand Prix racing. You know, just a standard, a bog standard race, to be honest. No need to really talk about that. It's nice, it's good, it's clean. My only problem really is with the classic cars. I forgot to mention that in the multiplayer side of things. Moving quickly into the multiplayer, my only other final feature that I missed out from multiplayer, now talking about classic cars, is when you go into a lobby and you say you use the modern cars, you can set the modern cars to equal. So, you know, you've got everyone having an equal opportunity to win races in whatever modern car you want. So, in a Sauber, you know, you can win, and a Mercedes can finish last. But for me, classic cars, if you go into multiplayer, you can't actually set them to realistic. Sorry, you can't set them to equal. Now, you're probably thinking, well, why would you set them to equal? What's the point in that? For me, they should be equal. I think they should I think classic cars should only be equal in specific categories. So you've got equal classic cars for C2 and equal for C1. If you're going to do a mixed classic cars race, it should be continuing as realistic. But like, if you go into an online race and someone selects the classic cars, you know, everyone's just going to pick the 04 Ferrari because it's going to win. And the only way to pick a classic car to make sure that a different classic car wins is if everybody uses the same one. And for me, that's not fun. Like, I want to be in a 2008 McLaren, for example, racing with a 2004 Ferrari and just have it as equal. I mean, you could probably argue the fact of, oh, well, this is licensing, you know, you can't be doing this, blah, blah, blah. But then at the same time, if licensing like that is such a massive problem, then why wasn't it a massive problem for modern cars to be set to equal? Like, if, for example, Mercedes-Benz were like, oh, why is our car now equal to the rest of the grid? We have the best car on the grid. This is unrealistic. We don't want it in the game. You know, like, if modern cars weren't allowed the term equal cars as well in a game mode, then, you know, why doesn't classic cars? It would just make it more fun. Like, you could have a proper, you know, a proper series then. You know, you could have, like, you and your best mate in, you know, the 06 Renault, and then versus you and your friend, you know, in a Ferrari 07, you know, it would just make it a little bit better for me personally, and I feel like it's a thing that's missing, and I don't really know why. But the big and final thing, which I could have potentially started at the start of the video, but I'm going to just do it now, it's going to be career mode. And to start things off, for me, career mode has been a massive success this year. I've really enjoyed career mode, and it's taken a big step forward. From F1 2016, where you were just at one desk with one laptop with about 5 different categories of upgrades and 4 or 5 upgrades per category, it's now gone up to a massive R&D tree with potential failures, and it's just basically, it's built on F1 2016 in such a massive way, and it's so impressive, and I'm really, really happy for it. But my biggest problem with the F1 2017 career mode, and to be honest, it's kind of one of my only problems, because of course you've got the career mode sorted, you know, you've got the R&D working well, you've got different places to go to, you can go backstage, you can go to Emma's office, you can go and see Chris in his truck, and that sounds really weird, and you can do other things, but for me, the one thing that's really missing is you as a character. You have set up a career mode for you to become an F1 star. For me, I really have absolutely no character development in the game. What do I mean by that? So look at FIFA 18 The Journey. You know, for me, FIFA 18 The Journey is an incredible single player experience that is underrated in FIFA. You've got you as Alex Hunter. Obviously, I would probably prefer to play as just like my own character, but you as Alex Hunter, you go around, you play the normal football matches, so you can do that in F1. Like, you can play the standard you can do the standard F1 races, practice, qualifying, and the race, but then there's specific cutscenes and stuff off the track that just twists the story. Now, of course, with the journey, it's different. You know, it's a scripted storyline. With F1 2017, this is not a scripted storyline, and you can't really do that. But for me, I don't. This is gonna sound weird, but I don't really know who I am, and I sit here and I think, well, hang on a minute. So who exactly am I? I'm called Thomas Fox, and I race in a Mercedes-Benz in this career mode season 2, and I do upgrades, and I race in classic cars and some invitational events. Like, for me, it's a bit stale. It's a bit dry. Like, I wanna feel engrossed in my character. I wanna feel like I'm genuinely going on a journey to a path of success. And whether that's to bring in a story mode for F1 2017 or F1 2018, honestly, it would be amazing if it actually happened. I doubt it would ever come in, but to be honest, like, have a standard career mode, sure, why not? But why can't we have specific cutscenes? And why are there no interviews like there were previously? Like, even if interviews came into F1 2017, that would make it so much bigger, because then I would feel who I actually am in the career mode. Because right now, I don't really know who I am. I don't know what's my purpose. Like, for me, why don't I just drive as Valtteri Bottas in my Mercedes and just put on the upgrades there? Like, what's the point of me having my own character name when it really doesn't mean anything? You know, the only time you see yourself is when you're on the podium or being interviewed during practice, and then you still don't even talk either. But, like, some sort of story mode to just make it bigger and better. So, like, for an example, you know, have it so, you know, at the start of the season, you're looking all pumped up, and then eventually, you know, you're going towards the paddock, and then all of a sudden, like, a fan comes up to you, and he's like, "Oh my God, you're the new Foxy Dude 98. I'm really looking forward to you. Can you sign my autograph, please?" And then, you know, build up sort of like a fan, like, build up your fan zone, like, sort of like, so if you said yes, like, you'd start, you know, being more positive towards fans. If you said no, you'd start losing fans. And then, you know, if, for example, you get a contract promotion, like, just build a proper cutscene from that. Like, let us actually see our characters. Like, the cutscenes with, like, the invitational events, and even with Emma, you know, she has a lot of cutscenes with you, cheeky. It's good. You can see Emma in those cutscenes, but why can't I see myself? Why can't we see it from a third-person angle? Like, why can't, you know, Emma just be talking on the phone in a cutscene, and then, you know, a knock on the door, and then she walks over. Your character just walks on in, and then he's like, "Hey, you wanted to see me?" And she's like, "Right, I've got a couple of contract offers for you. These are from big teams. This is Mercedes, Red Bull, and Williams. Or do you want to stay at your team? Where do we want to go? Like, you need to make the decision." And then all of a sudden, the contract offers come up, and you can pick your choices, and then it goes back, you've picked the choice, goes into that cutscene again, and says, "Right, I'll get onto the dealings now with you with Mercedes-Benz. Congratulations," type thing. And then as soon as you join Mercedes-Benz, have like a brand new interview or something when someone comes up to you and says, you know, "How do you feel now that you've moved to Mercedes-Benz?" Have a third-person cutscene, seeing yourself, being like, "You know what, yeah, I feel really good, I'm happy with where I am," and just give us more for the character side of things. That's what's lacking, to be honest. I want to know who I am, and I want to know where the character goes. Because for me, the career mode side, the racing, the R&D development, and all that front is absolutely phenomenal. But I feel like Codemasters need to work on career modes in terms of the character. Like, for example, here, look, we've got the cutscene here. You can see it on your screens. Toto Wolff's happy. Look, Hamilton's coming out of his car here. And this is the only time that we get to see we get to see our character in third-person perspective on the podium. Like, why not have a podium interview? Where's a post-race interview? Like, right here now, that's the only time you see my character there. If they could design a character model right there Why can't we have an interview? Why can't this podium celebration come on right now? Someone then walks on out over, just a random interviewer, just to save FOM problems, comes across to you and says, hey, Tom, that was a great race for you today. How do you feel it went on? Have a couple of sets. Even if they're the same texts every single time, that doesn't matter. It still brings something to the game. So, look, now we're just done now. That's the podium done. Next race over with. So why can't it be something like, hey, Foxy Dude, that was a fantastic race from you guys today. How did you feel the race went? And it could be like something like an aggressive, a slightly more relaxed, or a slightly more balanced, very similar to the journey in terms of, oh, well, I was absolutely incredibly fast today. I don't think anyone could have touched me in that race. Or like a cooler version, like, yeah, the team, you know, they did really, really well. I was really happy. And then sort of like bring up the team approval. And then you've got a team approval, and you've also got the other team's approvals with trying to interest in signing you. Like, if you make a bad move, like say, oh, the team didn't really, I was absolutely phenomenal today, no one could even think of touching me, like that might like affect Mercedes' approval towards you, and it might drop your score down just a little bit. So like, you know, interviews -1 on the little dash like that, you know, just something to spice it up a little bit. But guys, that's kind of it really. That's all I've got to say for this video. Just an F1 2017 game idea in general. If you guys have got any opinions on F1 2017 and what could go forward into F1 2018, let me know in the comment section down below. But yeah, overall, multiplayer, it's not fun. It needs to have a serious rethink. Grand Prix time trial, really, really good, really awesome. Career mode, absolutely fantastic. Just needs the character development. But guys, thanks so much for listening and for watching. Hope you guys have a great day. Take care all. Peace.